What's up YouTube? For tonight's video we have a full Egg Moves only Pokemon team. This one is for Patreon. If you like your theme team done, you can check it out in the description of the video under the Patreon link. Richard man, this one is for you. So the idea is to use 6 Pokemon and all of their moves, all 4 of their moves, had to only be breeding moves. So this came as a nice little challenge. Now I did try and target Pokemon that had fairly limited breeding move pools to use, and I come up with some interesting sets as usual, and we had some really good battles. Make sure you stick around for the whole thing. It is very good. Right, if you do want to battle me, that's in the description of the video too. I take battles on my chat at a random time each day. Anyone is welcome to come there and battle. Right, so we have a battle against Germ, my chat, and he's going to lead with a Salazzle Totem. It's going to be a physical set. I can see it's got Life Orb too, due to that massive damage on my Palisand. So Palisand actually gets Curse in Ultra Sun and Moon, which is really cool. I also gave it Stockpile, Swallow, and Ancient Power. Now this moveset, like the breeding moves on this Pokemon, and yeah, they're not exactly much chop, right, which made it very hard. The EVs I ran on this were Max Health, Split Defenses, a Calm Nature, Water Compaction as the ability, and Citrus Berry. So the idea with this set is to get as many stockpiles up as you can, and swallow off any damage you do with Curse, and try and get like a scummy boost with Ancient Power. That's even better, I guess. And yeah, just go from there. A very, very gimmicky set, incredibly hard to use too. So now this bit I had to sped up. So we got the Oranguru coming in. Now this Oranguru actually had Psych Up. I was like, oh man, it started copying on my stockpile boost, which is really bad. So I was like, well, what I need to do is I need to get a curse up on this thing, right? Now, good thing was I had a stockpiles up. I had 3 stockpiles up, which actually healed off all my damage prior to the Oranguru actually taking me out. So it's going to take me out there with the stored power, which obviously really suits the Psych Up. So it's going to steal the stats and the new stored power, which is, you know, fairly gimmicky, and which is cool. And also has Charge Beam too. Obviously, if the opponent didn't have any stat boost, it used Charge Beam and then stored power. So bringing in Walrein. Now, Walrein was a max health, max special attack set with Modest Nature, Thick Fat, and Leftovers. We had Water Pulse, Signal Beam, Aqua Ring, and Yawn. So I didn't have the greatest moves there. At least I had Stab with Water Pulse. That was pretty cool. I also had like a scummy Confusion going on with Water Pulse and Signal Beam, which was pretty cool. Oranguru actually hits herself in Confusion there, which was very nice, which enabled me to take it out. And I didn't land any damage on Warren either. So now we have Ordino coming out. I'm going to go for Water Pulse. I outspeed it, which is rather nice too. And it does a fair amount of damage, a little bit more than I thought it would. So I was like, maybe this is like an offensive Ordino. And then it uses Work Up. So I'm like, okay, that answers my question. So I was hoping, well, I might be able to get like a Confusion with the Water Pulse again, and then the Ordino could hit itself with Confusion. That would be really fun. Now I had Aqua Ring and Leftovers to just for like extra bulk. Now Yawn was Yawn's quite handy to cause swaps, and if I had like I do have a Pokemon that has some status like boosting moves, so I thought I could make use of that too. Then the Ordino is going to go for the Grass Knot. Hits me really hard. It's about a 3-hit KO even after Leftovers recovery. Right, so I've got to bury this thing before it takes my Walrein out. A Grass Knot Ordino is a threat, guys. Anyway, go for the Water Pulse again. Hoping I can get that scummy Confusion Axe. And most of the time with this Walrein set, right, I'd get a Confusion Axe, like, you know, I guess probably 5 or 6 times out of 10. I definitely would get a out of the 5 or 6 times battles out of 10. I get Confusion with this Walrein. So it was fairly handy. Anyway, so the Ordino nearly takes me out with the Grass Knot before. I'm going to finish it off with the Water Pulse, but some interesting sets at the moment on both sides. I love seeing creative sets, people. Now, if you do have any creative sets and you'd like to have a battle against me or anyone else, my community obviously has, you know, their theme teams too and things like that. So if you should definitely come along. It's good fun. So now we have the Quaggy coming in. Now, I was thinking, well, this could have Water Pulse. Let's test the waters and see if it does, and it doesn't actually have it. It's got, obviously it's got, you know, I'm guessing it's got Unaware. So now the Quagsire is going to go for Bulldoze. That's not going to be enough to take me out. However, that is going to drop my speed. There's not really much point in swapping my Warrior out. It's already quite a slow Pokemon, and I'm just going to leave it in for fodder for the Quagsire to actually take out with the Bulldoze. Now, I've got a nice Pokemon to swap into this as well. I thought this would be the best swap in, especially having the 4 times super effective and I chose Carnivine. I love Carnivine. So I've got on this, I've got Acid Spray, which I've got in Ultra Sun and Moon, which is cool. I've got Giga Drain, Leech Seed, and my favorite healing move. So I've got max health and max defense on this set. So it's a bulky defensive wall set. Now the Quagsire actually stays in. I thought it may actually swap out due to the big grass weakness. So I went for the Leech Seed for that reason. And I'm going to get some leftover recovery. Now obviously this is like a scummy muddy water set, trying to drop my accuracy and making me miss like 100 times in a row, get really salty. So I've got to get rid of this thing, ASAP before it it starts using Mud Slap too. So anyway, even though I've got Levitate, so go for the Giga Drain, finishing off the Quagsire, and that is down. So I don't want any of that scummy accuracy muddy water on me at all. Now Carnivine was it was a fairly decent Pokemon on my team too. It's probably like one of the bulkiest mons on my team. So now I'm going to speed this bit up. So we got the physical Salazzle. Now, it doesn't have the greatest physical move pool in the world, so I can appreciate that. Now, it's got Toxic, which obviously is going to be 100% being a poison type, and it also had Leech Life as well, which is really interesting. So, obviously, that's super effective against me. I mean, if it had a Fire type move, that would be pretty good too. I think it only gets Flame Charge as a physical Fire type move, so it's fairly difficult. And I've got the Leech Seed up against this thing. Now I was using the Acid Spray to drop the special defense of the Salazzle, and then I could go for Giga Drain finally, almost taking it out there with the Leech Seed finishing off too. So that was a little battle there between Carnivine and Salazzle. Probably the only time Carnivine will ever beat Salazzle, and that is Carnivine nearly out. I wish I was on 69 health there. So now we have the Oinky coming out, which is the Grumpig. Now this is quite funny. As this like battle went, I was like, I wonder if this has got like actually I won't say that yet. So now with the Grumpig, it's gonna go for the Calm Mind. It's gonna raise its special defense and special attack by 1 stage, right? So I went for the Acid Spray to drop those special defense raises, because I did have a Pokemon that was a special attacker which could still hit it reasonably hard. But I was mainly thinking I've got to hit this thing physically because it's going to be like too bulky. Right, so Carnivine's obviously going to go down the next turn. I went for the Acid Spray again, just in case it went for another Carmine. However, it's going to go for the Psy Shock, and that's going to be way too much for my Carnivine to handle taking it out. But Carnivine did a nice job there. I was happy with that. Right, so now we're going to swap in Licky Licky, and I was thinking, I actually have a Chopple Berry on this, right? It'd be so funny if this actually had Focus Bliss. So now it's going to go for the Calm Mind. Now this was quite a fun Licky Licky. So I've got Body Slam, I've got Smelling Salts. The idea is to paralyze the opponent, and then use Smelling Salts to get that big damage on there. I've also got Magnitude and Zen Headbutt. I've got Max Speed and Max Attack. Now, that was, it's a fairly good set. I got a lot of use out of it. So, the Grumpig, as I was hoping, would go for the Focus Miss. It lands the Chopple Berry. It definitely, that definitely enabled me to live that. If I didn't have the Chopple Berry, I was definitely, I was down for the count. So, go for the Body Slam and taking out the Grumpig. So, man, that item mattered so much. I was going to get swept by Golden Pig otherwise. Right, so speaking of salt, we have the Regirock. Now, this was a problem, right? I'd lost my Walrein and I'd lost my Carnivine, so things were starting to get pretty desperate. So go for the Magnitude. It does so much damage. Now Magnitude looks absolutely awesome. I wish they replace Earthquake with Magnitude. Just looks like the animation on it looks so much better. So now the Regirock's going to go for Curse, bolstering its absolutely amazing defense already and its attack. Now, I'm going to go for Body Slam. I thought, well, the best I can do here is probably go and try and get a Paralyze on this thing. That'd be really handy. And then it uses Rock Throw. So this isn't like a full scumbag Rock Throw Regirock. It's basically throwing itself at me. So go for another Body Slam. Hoping I can get a scumbag Paralysis. And it happens finally. Now, I could go for Smelling Salt, but it wouldn't really do a lot of damage. And it would cure its paralysis as well. So I get taken down by a Regirock with Rock Throw. Always wanted that to happen. So I've got 2 more Pokemon left. Now, the problem was here, Rock Throw is actually really good against my last 2 Pokemon. So Simisear, the only move I could actually use against this was Disarming Voice, and it does nothing. Regirock actually gets paralyzed. I've got max special attack, max speed on this. I've got Nasty Pot, Heat Wave, and Belch with the Potato Berry. So I couldn't use Belch. Heat Wave was going to do monkeys, pardon the pun there, and I went for the Disarming Voice. Unfortunately, I get wrecked by I got critted by Rock Throw, and that's going to take out my Simisear. So I've only got 1 Pokemon left, which is the Drampa. Now, Drampa gets some interesting breeding moves. I've got on this, I've got Mist, I've got Dragon Rush, and Hurricane and Play Rough. So now it's going to go for the Superpower, which is super effective against me, almost taking me out there. It's going to get its attack dropped and its defense dropped. So basically like it was before that curse, I guess. And I've got a Bearer on this, which is going to get most of my health back. Nice Wiki Berry there. So I really can't do too much against this except for go for the Dragon Rush. It's very, very bulky in defense, so this does like nothing to Reggie Rock. So now Reggie Rock's going to go for a Superpower, and guess what? It's not going to be able to take me out, obviously due to that drop at the start. So what I did here is I went for the Play Rough, and I thought that this is game here. I actually slipped, click the freaking Dragon Rush, and it missed, and Reggie Rock takes me out with the Superpower. Oh no! Oh, I'm so salty about that. Oh, that was like the worst misclick ever. I was like, okay, at least I clicked like an attacking move, right? And then it missed. Oh, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I'm like hours later, I'm still salty about that. Right, so the next battle we have on my chat was against Skylar. So we got the Fat Rat as the lead, and I've got the Palisand, the amazing Cursed Palisand. Right, so Fat Rat's going to go for the U-turn, just getting a little bit of damage on me. Obviously, it's not very effective, just using that to scout. Now, I went for Curse Turn 1. A lot of the time I like to lead with this. I could scope out what the lead was. So the mighty Swablu comes in. Man, Swablu, the strongest Pokemon ever. So I've got the Curse up on the Swablu. Don't worry, guys. The Curse is up on the Swablu. So I'm going to eat my Citrus Berry, bringing me back over half health. So I thought, oh, well, I might be able to get some Ancient Powers up against this thing because, it's super effective, and I might be able to... I'd love to try and get a sweep with this set. It'd be so funny. It'd be very difficult, though, without, like, a move like Shore Up. Shore Up is obviously a lot better and viable than Swallow. So anyway, the Swablu is going to go for a Roost, roosting off its damage. So that's a little bit of a problem. So going for the Ancient Power here, I was like, this should do some pretty good damage against this. However, it's a bulky special defense set. Obviously, it's got Everlight and it's got Roost too. So man, I'm getting walled hard by this Swablu. What am I going to do? Countered. So anyways, the Swablu is going to go for the Toxic, which basically renders my Palisand useless. So that kind of sucks. So I thought, well, I might be able to get an Ancient Power boost on this and turn this bad situation into something good, hopefully. So go for Ancient Power again. It doesn't get a boost. However, I'm going to get another round of Curse on this thing. However, the Swablu can still use Roost and heal off its damage. So the next turn, it's going to go down. However, I've got a sneaking suspicion it's just going to keep going for Roost and Toxic Soul out my Palisand. So... oh man, this is not looking too good. I'm getting wrecked by a Swablu at the moment. Swablu actually has nice base special defense too. Obviously Altari does too, so it works very nice with Everlight. So going for the Ancient Power again. Like Palisand is pretty much, it's wrecked. There's nothing you can really do. I was thinking I could swap it out and use it for Curse Fodder like later on in the game. That would be my best bet instead of just like going down to the toxic damage. So I decided to save Palisand for a little bit later on. I knew that Swablu would obviously heal up on this turn with Roost. So swapping in the Drampa this time, so I can go for Dragon Rush against this thing and probably miss about 4,000 times in a row. So now Swablu's got most of its health back. However, it still doesn't have the Curse on it too. So it's either going to stay into a Drampa or it's going to swap out on half health. So now we have this Swablu swapping out there. So that's not too bad. I guess it's on half health. It would be in close. I might be able to hit that with a physical move later. So now we have Tyrant in there. And Dragon Rush misses. Ugh! That sucks because that would have one-shot it. Now the Tyrant goes for the Dragon Claw, which is super effective against my Drampa. Does 3/4 of my health. And Dragon Rush, thank goodness, hits this time. So going for the Dragon Rush. And that's going to be enough to take out the Tyrant. But it's got Sturdy. So that kind of sucks. So obviously I'm going to get wrecked this turn. The Tyrant's going to be able to outspeed me and take me out. Man, Dragon Rush. I just got... oh, man, that shaky actually. The idea I wanted to use Dragon Rush for obviously was a physical one. I wanted to try and get those flinches too. I thought it'd be quite funny. So now we're swapping in the Licky Licky. I went for the Body Slam instead. Now we have the Z move coming for the Tyrant. That sneaky Z move with the Sturdy. So this is going to be a Flying Z Tyrant. Now I was guessing this is coming off something like, I guess, Aerial Ace or something along those lines. Now Licky Licky is very bulky in itself. Obviously in its stats too, so I knew that I could take this, really, really well. So we have a Pterodactyl. Well, we've got a T-Rex turning into a Pterodactyl, smashing into my Licky Licky, and I'll actually get Magnitude 7 here. Seriously, the only times to get Magnitude 10 right was when it didn't matter. Like the opponent was on 1 health, or they were about to faint anyway to Toxic or Leech Seed or something like that. So anyway, we have the cute hamster coming in, which was the Alolan Raticate. It was really cool to see all these little cut Pokemon too. So I went for the Body Slam, man, this is going to Shrek this in 1 shot. and then it has a focus sash. I'm like, oh, I know what this is going to do, and then it uses counter, and my Licky Licky just gets absolutely Shrek there, so down goes Licky Licky. Man, I've done the counter focus sash to so many people, so it was good to feel the salt. So I've got still 4 Pokemon remaining. That's not too bad. So swapping in old Palisand here, I thought I might be taken out with an Ancient Power. However, it's going to go for the Sucker Punch. It lands with the Hustle, and that's enough to take out my Palisand, which sucks. So people, Swablu, Alot, Eradicate, threats at the moment, people. These Pokemon should be banned to Ubers. So swapping in my Warrant here, I can go for any move to take it out. I just went for the Water Pulse, I believe. Almost went for the Yawn there, actually. Probably they went for the Protect there, maybe guessing that I would go for Toxic or something, and, predicting the Sucker Punch. This time they went for the Sucker Punch, does a little bit of damage to Warrior, and I'm going to take that out with the Signal Beam. Signal Beam was actually, quite useful in so many battles. It was super effective against a lot of Pokemon. So now I finally took out the Alot and Eradicate, people. I know, mission accomplished. So now I've got a little bit of leftover recovery, and now we have, what's this? The Swablu, this annoying Swablu again. So I can't really do too much to this. I went for Water Pulses to try and take this damn thing out. It was so bulky in Special Defense with that Everlight. It's going to get the Toxic up. The good thing was I'm going to outspeed it, and the Warren outspeeds the Swablu, and I'm going to be able to take it out. However, it's going to have to swap out if it wants to stay alive. It's not overly fast, so I knew the Swablu would probably stay in. I guess their main purpose there was to get a Toxic on Warren, because, Warren is very bulky, even with a gimmicky set like this. So go for the Water Pulse on the Swablu. Finally, Swablu goes down. Man, I feel so proud. I took out a Swablu, a Tyron, and a Alolan Rattata. So, we still have the, my dog is barking in the background. So, anyway, we've got the Alolan Eradicate, as we've seen earlier on in the game, and we still got 2 other Pokemon. Now we have the Primeape coming in. I was like, any fighting type move is going to wrap me. Focus misses. Thank goodness. I went for the Waterfall, the Water Pulse, sorry. Hoping I'm getting a Scummy Confusion. It does have the half health. I was like, I thought that would do a little bit more to that if it was an offensive one. Maybe they got some sort of health investment. I'm not sure. Then again, it's Warren. It's coming off Water Pulse. Probably not the strongest move in the world. So now the Primeape is going to go for the Focus Miss, and it's going to land on my Warren, taking it. I think it might. Maybe it's Choice Specs or something like that. It does a fair amount of damage to Warren. So now I've got my Simisear. Now the best move I could do against this, I was thinking Heat Wave's probably going to miss because it's me. So I went for the Scummy Disarming Voice. Oh, it's not enough to take it out. And now the Primeape's going to land a Focus Miss again on my Simisear. And guess what happens? I think it's definitely Choice Specs, and that takes me out in one shot. Oh, guys, I've always wanted to get swept by Choice Specs Primeape. So the last Pokemon I've got is the Carnivine. I know that I can probably just live this. I went for the Giga Drain in this. Focus Miss hits again on my Carnivine. I'm like, please don't take me out. This is embarrassing. I just lived on 36 health, people. I'm able to take out the Primeape with the Giga Drain. Man, that was savage. I think I've run one of them in some theme team. I've run a special Primeape, the Choice Specs Primeape. So I got some leftover recovery and some Giga Drain. So it's not all bad. I've got my favorite healing move still. So now we have the Pikachu coming in, and it's gonna go for a present. I'm like, oh no, disrespect present kill, don't you dare! And guess what, people? It heals me instead. I went for my favorite healing move, and that's gonna get me all the way up to a full health again. Man, oh, if I had died to that present, then I would have been as nearly as salty as the first battle. So I can go for the Giga Drain against this thing. Pikachu is going to go for a present, man. Present Pikachu breaking the meta here. Damn, son, that does a lot of damage. I'm a defensive wall. So getting off the lead sheet against the Pikachu, I've got to get that. Health recovery back. So I've got the leftovers. I've got the lead seed. What's going to do? So present, if you don't know, has a random chance of healing the opponent or doing damage. Now, present itself, the actual present bomb, actually has a random base power too. So Carnivine actually avoids the present there and goes for the Giga Drain, which is going to get lots of its health back. Now Pikachu is going to be able, I think Pikachu is going to be able to live one more attack, or live on 1 health, and go for a final present to try and take me out. Oh man, present Pikachu, that was a really good one. Anyway, so Pikachu's going to go for the present, and it heals me instead, people. So the good thing about that is I didn't take any present damage, people, and I'm all prepped and ready for the Eradicate, which is the last Pokemon. We only actually got to see that once, so I know that's got U-turn, which is super effective. However, since I'm a bulky special defense wall, right, I know that I'm going to be able to take that one fairly well. So Big Fat Cheeks is going to use Final Gambit. I'm like, oh no, I know this got more health than me. And this one is going to finish in a draw, people. I hope you enjoy this one. Present Pikachu. Man, you won't believe this one. Peace out.